left Peru and sailed to England alone. There he met the Browns and they took him home. Now a new life has begun. He's Windsor Garden's favorite son, 'cause he always does his best to help everyone. When a problem appears, he never misses a beat and always finds a way to land on his feet. Has his very own unique point of view. Looks at everything as if it's brand new. He is friendly and polite, and he tries to do things right, but he gets in sticky messes just the same. He's curious and speaks his mind, but trouble's never far behind. It's Paddington Bear, he's one of a kind.
I'm Paddington Bear. Dear Aunt Lucy, Mr. Brown found his old sailing cap when he cleaned out the shed, and instead of throwing it up with the rest of the rubbish, he gave it to me. It didn't fit over my hat, but it did come in handy while I was picking berries for Mrs. Bird. And that's when I noticed something very strange in Mr. Curry's garden. It looked as though he was getting ready for a garden party, but he never has those. And then he started doing the strangest thing with an old rag.
Nothing like a fresh summer day to clear the mind and relax the body.
Mr. Curry, are you all right?
Of course I'm not all right, Bear. Now, help me up.
Perhaps you should put your rake away before your party. Then no one else will get hurt.
Party? What party? Are you spying on me, Bear? I have a good mind to report you.
I wasn't spying, Mr. Curry. I was just looking at that old rag you were hanging between your trees.
Old rag? It's not a rag. It's a hammock.
A hammock?
There's no need to broadcast it to the whole neighborhood, Bear. Promise not to tell anyone, and I may let you have a go on it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Curry. I don't think I've ever been on a hammock before.
Sailors used to sleep in them aboard ship. Ah, a sailing cap. May I borrow it, Bear? It'll help set the mood.
Yes, Mr. Curry, but...
Bear!
Oh, dear. I'm sorry, Mr. Curry. Is there anything I can do?
Yes, you can tie the other end of the hammock to the tree while I go inside to change. Then I shall take a well-deserved rest after a hard week's work.
I shall have to tell Mrs. Bird that she's wrong. She says you haven't done a day's work in your life.
Why, I never... Oh, the nerve of that woman.
Are you sure your hammock is safe, Mr. Curry?
Safe? Of course it's safe. It may have one or two holes here and there.
One or two? There's one here, and there, and here. I think you may have some hammock moths.
Bear, after you finish tying it to the tree, you can test it to make sure it's perfectly safe, comfortable. And don't touch a drop of my lemonade. I shall know if you have. I've marked the jug.
Getting into Mr. Curry's hammock wasn't as easy as it looked. I could have done with a book of instructions.
Bear! Stop swinging and get to work.
My best marmalade sandwich! At least it softened my landing. It was time for Plan B.
Bear! There's no time to lie around! Get cracking! You're so sticky.
It was just a matter of proper timing to hit the target.
How is the hammock, Bear?
It's a little snug, Mr. Curry. And I certainly wouldn't call it relaxing. Mr. Curry said not to touch his lemonade, so I was sure he'd be upset that I had spilt some. Hopefully, Mr. Curry won't notice that it's been watered down. I still had to find a way onto the hammock.
I do hope Paddington comes back soon. Henry said he was coming home early with a special surprise.
Since bears are good at climbing, it was time for Plan C. And after all of my efforts, I'm sure Mr. Curry won't begrudge me one small apple.
What are you doing up there, Bear?
Plan C, Mr. Curry. C for catastrophe.
How dare you pick my apples without permission? My lemonade! Why, you bear? Get me out of here!
I'm sorry, Mr. Curry. It's just that the hose slipped and...
Give me that hose!
Why, that Mr. Curry.
What are you doing, Mr. Curry? You soaked this shirt.
What am I doing? It's all that bear's fault.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Bird. I was helping Mr. Curry with his new hammock.
His new hammock, did you say? But that's our old hammock. Henry put it out with the other rubbish from the shed yesterday.
Whatever is happening over here?
Paddington's been trying out Mr. Curry's new hammock.
Oh, don't get on that. It's completely rotten.
Rotten? But Mr. Curry asked me to test it for him.
Is this true, Mr. Curry? Imagine putting a young bear at risk.
Well, you see, it was,
Forget about that old hammock. Look, I've got a new one right here. And if you like, Mr. Curry, you can come over and try it when I've set it up.
If you wait a few years, it may get thrown out too. Then you'll have two hammocks. I think it'll be a while before I go anywhere near another hammock, Aunt Lucy. Mr. Brown said I could be the first to try out his new one. But you taught me to be polite, so I've been saying, after you, to everyone.
Nephew, you don't know what you're missing.
Here we are, Mr. Brown, in the medieval town of Charlemagne, Germany. It's the setting for the next chapter of my book, The World and Its Wonders.
I thought we came to see knights in shining armour, Mr. Gruber, as well as your friend, Herbert von Dulong. I don't know about the knights, but if you ask me, everyone here dresses a little strangely.
a wise bear, it is oft-times told, knows all that glitters is not gold.
They have a funny way of putting things, too.
Oh, he talks that way because he's a fool, Mr. Brown.
Mr. Gruber, it's not like you to be rude.
Not that kind of fool, Mr. Brown. I mean, he's a jester. You see, every year, the people of Charlemagne dress up and pretend to be someone from the olden days. It's all part of a medieval festival celebrating the town's history.
Oh, that crazy locksmith Rutger. Every year he plays the Black Knight, and every year he has to pretend he's more evil than the year before.
Herbert, is that you?
Samuel, you made it!
Yes, it is I, but today I am known as a White Knight.
Well then, brave White Knight, allow me to introduce my dear friend, Mr. Paddington Brown.
A great honor it is, but I have terrible news. I am to be disqualified from the jousting matches.
Disqualified? But why?
My squire became ill this morning, and without one, I cannot joust. It is so dictated.
But that's awful. Is there no one else who can help you?
Excuse me, Mr. Knight. I'm not a squire, but bears are very good at helping.
Be you brave, honest and true as all squires must be?
My Aunt Lucy thinks so.
Then do not loiter, Squire Paddington.
Excuse me, Mr. Knight, but what exactly is a jousting competition?
It is when knights rise their horses at one another and try to knock the other to the ground with lances. The one who touches the ground first is thus defeated.
Knights of Charlemagne, you are the finalists in the battle for my hand in marriage.
Her hand? But what about the rest of her?
It's a figure of speech, Mr. Brown. It's an old medieval tradition.
May you all remain true to your code of honor until the joust.
Ha-ha! Where did you find your Squire, White Knight? In a zoo?
In a zoo? I'm from Peru. Darkest Peru.
Whoa! You are doomed, White Knight. For I, the Black Knight, shall be victorious once more.
If you do win again, it will only be through acts of treachery. Oh, goodness, Paddington. Have you polished armour before? You're very good at it.
No, but I've watched Mrs. Bird polish her silver. You can see her face in it.
Ah! I'm supposed to be a knight in shining armour, not pink armour. I can't joust in this.
Oh, no! Someone has put glue in my helmet. If I put it on, I'll never get it off.
Oh, don't tell me these knights can't compete. Isn't that a shame? Everyone's having such bad luck.
Forewarned is forearmed.
The fool wasn't so silly after all. As Mr. Knight's squire, I had to be on the lookout.
Help! Help!
What is it, Black Knight?
I'm not playing knights now, Herbert. There's no time to explain. Hurry, please.
Stay here, Paddington.
Hurry, hurry. You'll see what's wrong in a moment. Through here.
Such trusting souls are too easy to fool.
Rutger, really, this is too much.
No, it is just enough to ensure victory is mine.
Goodness, Black Knight, where are the other brave souls?
I'm afraid I shall be the only contestant today, fair maiden.
What? What happened to the others? Where are their squires?
Here I am, but my knight seems to have disappeared.
In that case, fair squire, you must ride in his place. Tradition dictates it. Besides, there's no way I'm even pretending to marry the Black Knight.
Are you serious? You dare compete with me?
Look what you've done.
Fine. That will cost you dearly, I promise you.
It already has. A whole jar of marmalade. Vengeance shall be mine. I was starting to get in the mood.
The contest has commenced without me. All is lost.
No, wait. Look, it's Mr. Brown.
Wretched marmalade.
May the best knight win!
Foolish knight, come and meet your master.
It was a foul. He put marmalade all over my lance. I demand a rematch.
Nonsense, Black Knight. It was a case of the biter being bit. I declare our honored guest the winner.
Well done, Mr. Brown.
Honored bear, you embody the true spirit of a knight and may claim your prize. Ah, what's this? Oh, marmalade. I hate marmalade.
Then I fear, fair maiden, we cannot be wed.
In matters of taste, I am afraid, a bear will always choose marmalade.
No truer words were ever spoken. Wallpaper. If only. 2 weeks had gone by since Mr. Brown announced he would redecorate my bedroom. But he still hadn't started, and I was beginning to think I'd have to live in the guest room forever. But then, things began to look up.
There you are, Henry. Now you've no excuse for leaving Paddington's room a moment longer.
Then I'll start bright and early, in a few days.
That's what you said last week. Why not begin this morning?
Because I won't be able to finish it today, and tomorrow we have a wedding to go to. But like Mrs. Bird says, there's no point starting a job if you can't finish it.
I've never heard you say that.
But I have said, don't put off until tomorrow what you can do today.
Henry, Paddington's been waiting 2 weeks already.
Don't worry, Paddington. Dad can't put it off forever.
Goodness knows he's trying to. Your father isn't very fond of decorating.
Perhaps he ought to pay someone to do the work for him.
Hurry, everyone, or we'll be late for the wedding.
Allow me, Mr. Brown. Here, I'll get that for you, Mrs. Bird.
Thank you, Paddington.
I hope you won't be at a loose end while we're gone for the day.
Don't worry about me, Mrs. Brown. I get my best ideas when I'm at a loose end.
Whoa! I don't like the sound of that.
There was no reason for Mr. Brown to pay someone to decorate. Not when he had an extra pair of handy paws in the house. Painting the window frame looks like a good place to start. Now, I must be careful not to spill any. This didn't happen to the workman next door. Perhaps the window frame wasn't the best place to start after all. I realized I should have started with the ceiling, because I could then cover any paint drips with the wallpaper. That's just what I need. Bears never stay down for long. Aunt Lucy always told me that what goes up must come down. And she was right. Oh dear. Luckily, I'm not the sort of bear who gives up easily. This was the part I'd be looking forward to. I decided it was why they invented wallpaper in the first place, to cover up any splodges. Now for the paste. Why is it that things that look easy are often the hardest of all to do right? But I discovered that once you get the hang of putting the paste on the paper, wallpapering really isn't very difficult at all. Except you have to be careful to cover the wall and not yourself. I'd better hurry if I'm to give Mr. Brown a surprise. The trick is getting the paper to stick straight. It doesn't look so bad. The overall effect is quite nice, especially if you turn your head and squint a bit. Someone must have stolen the door while my back was turned.
Paddington?
I don't like the sound of that.
I didn't hear anything.
Exactly.
Shh, listen. 3 fast, 3 slow, 3 fast. Uh-oh, that's an SOS. Coming, Paddington!
Paddington, we can't leave you alone for 5 minutes.
I think I must have papered over the door by mistake while I was doing the decorating. It was meant to be a surprise. I expect it'll look better when it's dry.
If this paint dries, we'll never get a comb through your fur. It's bath time for a certain young bear.
It's a shame we can't give the entire room a bath.
That settles it, Henry. We simply must hire some professional decorators.
Oh, if you insist, Mary.
I was in trouble again, and I wasn't looking forward to another of Mr. Brown's little chats.
Good job, Paddington. Now I won't have to do the decorating. Here's an extra £1 for your pocket money.
Oh.
Thanks to you, Paddington, we'll finally get the job done properly, and the decorators will be finished in no time. Here's £1 for your work.
Well done, Paddington. Because they're going to hire professionals, I won't have to do any of the cleaning up. Here's £1 as a little thank you.
I wonder how much I'd get if I offered to paint and paper the whole house.